morning, everybody. It's me, and I'm having some technical difficulties, but I think I got them figured out. So at least you can I'm assuming you can hear me now. Can you hear me now? And everything should be good. But it's Monday. Hope you all had a great weekend. Got tons of things to try to get through, and we have a couple new people in the chat. I'm excited. Everyone say good morning to that one chick. And we'll figure it out after the intro. Play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PDawg Knight. And stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as PDawgKnight on the internet. And thanks for showing up today. It is Monday, the 30th of November, 2020, the year from hell that will never end. But we only got about a month left, people. Just about a month left to get through this craziness. Anyway, I am so happy everyone's here. You know, I made a theme today. Oh, it's the 481st episode of the Morning Night Live. And I think it's about time that I step up my game on this YouTube thing. So I keep saying it, but I really am going to start making videos again, just to see if we can grow the channel a little bit. Also, we're going to have some, and I keep saying we're going to have guests, but I think I have a guest that I want to have on here, which will be a surprise. You probably won't even know who this is, but I think she's awesome, and we'll work on that, but not today. We'll get to that later. I promise we'll get to that later. Let's go ahead and say good morning to everybody before I get into it. By the way, I titled this show Everywhere But the Top, and you know, I was trying to figure out this morning why I did that, and then I remembered why. You know, I'm a little bit black-pilled on this whole election thing, right? I just feel like, you know what? It got stolen and there's nothing, damn thing we can do about it. But we'll see what happens. No matter what happens, the country is going to be, half the country is going to be pissed off and just ready for, just bloated for bear constantly. And so I don't know. I don't even know what to describe that. But when I say everywhere but the top is because right now the process has pretty much been everywhere but the top, as in has not been to the Supreme Court yet. And I think that's where we're headed. I don't think... I don't know what to think about it. So I'm going to just go through a few articles today that seem to be a little more, or not more, less black-pilled than me. But I got to tell you, the people who are just so cocksure that it's going to go the way we want it to, I don't know. Anyway, let's say good morning to everybody. First in the chat today was Keenan, who gets the bell. Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. Keenan, you get the bell, but I almost forgot. What's today, people? What is today? There are a couple special days in this show where the ambiance is just a little bit different, right? Just a tiny bit different. Yes, it is Monday, which means it's Metal Monday on the Morning Night Live. Bang your head, people. Bang your head. It's Metal Monday on the Morning Night Live. I'll turn that down because I know that's going to be very hard and distracting to listen to while I'm talking. But I figured out my music levels, and I'm so happy about that. So on Mondays and Fridays, Monday is Metal Monday, and Friday is Funky Friday on the Morning Night Live. So, because I know I like to have those 3 days in between because some people like the music, some people don't. So I'm going to just split the difference and try to please everybody. Anyway, again, Keenan, who got the bell. Good morning, Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
And also, good morning, Richo, my friend from down under. Good morning, Zach Osborne. Very sad news, Zach Osborne. My heartfelt, definitely heartfelt sadness for your family, and I am praying for you. If you want to fill people in, that's up to you. Good morning, Stab and Joe Scarborough. Good morning, Becca Farley, who brought in a new friend today, and I'm very happy to see that. I'll let you know who that is in a second. Also, good morning, James PFP. Donatello Slapfellow, my favorite name on the internet. Also, good morning to our new guest, that one chick. I am so happy you are here. Click that subscribe button down below and click the bell if you decide you like me. Most people like me. Not everybody like me. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I always have a cup of coffee, which I do have my cup of reparations coffee with me. Everyone take a sip. Also, good morning to Mike Savage Blar. Good morning to, let's see, Wikipedia Snippet. How you doing? Good morning to, as I scroll down here, Select a Boy.
Yeah, boy.
Also, good morning, Renee Mayette. How you doing? Let's see, as I scroll down, there's more and more and more. Just taking me a while. Okay, good morning, Anna Lynn. How you doing? Good morning. Zablu's in the house, or Zablé. I always say Zablu because I see the A and I always think it's a U and I go Zablé, but it's Zablé. Zablé is here. Good morning, Katie Did Skate. Good morning, Uncle Bobbity. Top of the insomnia to y'all. Yeah, well, I hope you're able to get some sleep sometime because I know you're up a lot. You're always up. I see you on a lot of other streams when I'm up because I'm on these streams at night because I'm up because I'm trying to do something productive. Usually I'm at work or whatever. But anyway, also, good morning, Gunfought61, the administrator of my Discord channel, which you can find in the chat if you want to join that. Also, good morning to Cindy Rochelle, my traveling friend. Good morning, Pete. Pete, how you doing? My friend from across the pond is in the house. Awesome. Oh, no, wait. Pete, you're from down under? No, I can't remember. You're Ireland or Australia? I can't remember which one. I know you're in one of those two where people speak English funny. I'm just kidding. Also, good morning to, I said Katie Did Skate. Special K on Acids in the house. How you doing? And I think, is that everybody? Oh, I bumped a bunch of, good morning, Barbatos. Guess who got an upgrade, sir? Is it Barbatos? I don't know. Guess who got an upgrade? Well, what kind of upgrade did you get, Barbatos? I don't know, but welcome to the show. Good morning, Sapphire Dragon. And I think I did the chat jump, didn't it? All right. Well, I think I got everybody that's in the chat. Also, if you're lurking, please be careful if you're driving. If you're lurking at work, don't get busted. And if you are watching on a replay, throw a comment down in the comment section. All right, let's kick this off with a couple things that, one thing in particular. We're talking about the election still, and we're going to used to be Barbatol. Oh, okay. I did not know that. I don't recognize the name. But I'm glad you're here. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe and hit the bell and stuff. So, let's talk about the ongoing election craziness. And I'm going to start with my friend JJ Sefton, my aggregator, it's one of those days where sometimes I just want to read his introduction to the aggregation today. And this one's a good one because it kind of reflects on where we are in this entire election debacle. All right. So, and he has a picture of this lieutenant governor from Pennsylvania. By the way, this is the lieutenant governor of Pennsylvania. He's a scary looking dude. He looks like I think he's a former college wrestler, although he doesn't quite have the cauliflower ear, but he's kind of got a cauliflower face. Hint, I may have had an ancient Roman name. Oh, Avocatus Diabli? Is that wait, is that right? I'm not sure. I may have had an ancient Roman name. Is that what I meant? Okay, I'll have to figure it out. Did I get that right? Yeah, he looks like a Klingon. Yeah, that's a good one too, Uncle Bob. He kind of looks like a Klingon. Anyway, JJ Septon's intro is pretty apropos, and I'm going to read it all. Good morning, kids. Monday and the last day of the month is pretty much down to the wire in terms of the president presenting his case to the courts, the state legislature, or perhaps the House of Representatives, as the Electoral College is scheduled to convene a week from tomorrow. Good news that a Pennsylvania court suspended the vote certification has evaporated as the state Supreme Court overturned that decision, much to the infantile glee of this guy, Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman, a Neanderthal-looking subliterate criminal who guarantees that Biden will ultimately win the state. By win, of course, he means steal, considering that we all witnessed what we all witnessed on Election Day. Naturally, this was to be expected, as considering Pennsylvania's highest court is corrupt and usurped the authority of the legislature in determining how the votes were to be counted and validated or not. And, oh, wait a minute, hang on. I almost forgot. Got to make sure I do this. Got to update that and fix that before. There we go. What was I going to say here? They usurped the authority of the legislature in determining how the votes were to be counted and validated or not, and it was going to be appealed all the way to the SCOTUS. No matter who won the initial argument, SCOTUS meaning the Supreme Court of the United States. As I have stated time and time again, the issue is not the strength of the case in terms of circumstantial and or statistical evidence and anomalies, physical evidence of counterfeit, fraudulent ballots, and rigged computerized voting machines, as well as a constitutional case involving the wholesale disenfranchisement of classes of voters whose ballots were not afforded equal protection insofar as curing is concerned. In short, the evidence is so massive and compelling that a Vincent Gambini-level neophyte with a correspondence school JD could make a slam dunk, let alone the caliber of representation on Trump team plus Powell, Wood et al. That is not the issue. The issue is, will the final arbiters of the case have the stones to uphold the last vestige of the Constitution and the rule of law, or will they essentially aid and abet the greatest crime in American history and snuff out the nation? No doubt, doing the former puts them and their families in actual physical danger because, you know, how some of these crazy crackpots are. As well as unleashes a wave of violence that will doubtless exceed what roiled us over this past summer with the death of that fellow in Minneapolis by the fentanyl overdose and a knee on his neck. But the nation will continue, and hopefully with a concerted effort, to eradicate fraud from our election systems. Easier said than done, ironically, because of federalism itself and because rigging elections is now proven beyond all reasonable doubt to be the only way Democrats can win or hold on to power. While I'm not going to claim Trump won California or New Jersey, I would bet it was a lot closer in supposedly solid blue states than it's been in decades. Of course, we'll never know, but it's something that does enter into this issue and beyond. Regardless of who's sworn in, I believe President Trump has touched off a sea change both politically and culturally across a very wide swath of this nation, despite the best efforts of the enemy's industrial propaganda complex to demonize what it cannot censor. At a most basic level, millions of Americans understand that what they have experienced since the lockdowns is, to say the least, not normal, especially given what they had experienced for the previous 3: prosperity, pride, and hope. Real hope, not phony Obama hope. For the future in an America once again on the rise. Anecdotally, look at the two stories about restaurant owners in New York telling Angel of Death Cuomo to get fucked. Look back at the mass MAGA rallies, even as the Democrat and Rhino flunky governors tried shutting them down. Tens of thousands of people cheering on an America First agenda, and the man who made it all happen, that is not a fluke. That is a movement, and what I think will last beyond Trump, God willing, January 20th, 2025. There are a lot of cynics, even here, who think we are, as a people, are too complacent, too comfortable, or too fearful to risk ourselves and our families in confronting the evil that is poised to smother us. I have a feeling the die has been cast. The Trump landslide was not only on election day. It's a hell of a lot bigger than that, and it's something that the enemy will never be able to steal. One day, maybe very soon, they're not going to know what hit them. Perhaps, hopefully, it's political and completely and utterly non-violent. If it isn't, they will only have themselves to blame. The propaganda machine's declarations notwithstanding. One day at a time, people. It's all we can do. And all I can say to that is, hell yeah. Well, now, and that is what I was on the brink of the black pill, and then I read that. I'm like, yeah, hope and change, baby, hope and change. But I want more than just the change. I want the whole dollar. So we'll see what happens. Who knows? Good morning, MC's in the house.
Stop. Hammer time.
Also, good morning, Sapphire Dragon. Good morning. I already said it, Uncle Bobbity. You're already here. Why am I about to say hi again? Anyway, interesting whispers that Green Berets were killed when grabbing German Dominion servers against CIA security detail. Both sides casualties filtered to press as normal causes. Yeah, I heard that rumor. I don't know what to think about that. I don't know. I guess we'll hear about it eventually. There's a whole lot going on. Anyway, now, before I go on, there is over the weekend, before I get into too much political stuff, which I already have, but anyway, there's a mystery happening in, I already put it on the screen. There's a mystery happening in good old Utah here. Did y'all see this? Remember that we saw that monolith that was in, where was that? In Utah, right? Utah? Well, they found this monolith that somebody found on Google's Maps. They had some people helicopter in there, and they're like seeing this big metal thing stuck into the ground. It's disappeared. Now, I normally wouldn't stop my day for this. Fake mystery? Is it a fake? Is it though? Is it though? I don't know what the hell. So the statue in Utah, the Utah desert, discovered by the Utah Department of Public Safety on November 18th while doing a routine count from the air of bighorn sheep, has disappeared, according to the Bureau of Land Management in Utah. And it's funny because I laughed because I saw these tweets yesterday. I'm like, BLM Utah, Black Lives Matter. How many black people are even in Utah? But it's the Bureau of Land Management. Anyway, they tweeted this out. We have received credible reports that the illegally installed structure referenced to as the monolith has been removed by an unknown party. The BLM did not remove the structure, which is considered private property. And I'm thinking to myself, what the hell is going on here? Don't trust the BLM. Don't trust the Bureau of Land Management. It's actually quite a relief to realize the aliens have pretty much the same sense of humor that we do. On the other hand, they may see the whole episode as the beginnings of a torture regimen, their version of waterboarding. Whatever, however, it's gone. Although at least one enterprising Reddit user found it before it disappeared. According to CNN, the trek involved driving into the darkness over rocky terrain and verifying GPS coordinates. According to 3 people who went to see it, at least one explorer got lost at first, but the trip was worth it, they said, even if the monolith wasn't the work of aliens. David Serber may have been among the very first to view the monolith in person. The coordinates to the monolith were circulating on Reddit, but none of its users could confirm they were correct. Serber volunteered to find out. He described the structure on his Instagram post as aluminum, not magnetic, 3 pieces riveted together, 2 rivets missing from the top. The monolith was not magnetic or solid. He said it sounded like a cardboard box when he knocked on it. At the end of the day, extraterrestrial or made through artistic expression, the monolith provided an opportunity for thousands of people to rally behind something positive again, he told CNN in the email. It was a good escape from all the negativity we've experienced in 2020. The artwork was removed on Friday night by a person or persons unknown. The Bureau of Land Management swears they had nothing to do with removing it, saying it was private property and they could not touch it. So, anyway, good morning, Kyra Alexander. How you doing? Nice to see you in the show, in the chat. Welcome as always. So, KSL, the monolith is made out of stainless steel-like material and cut into the rock with visible saw marks, providing further evidence that it was likely made by an earth-residing artist. However, it has brought controversy about public art coexisting with natural art. While the monolith has better craftsmanship than graffiti, this is still vandalism, said the Utah Department of Heritage and Arts. It's irreversibly altered the natural environment on public lands. While the monolith is interesting, we cannot condone vandalism of this type. Now, that may be true, but to call it vandalism is silly. Man is a creature of the earth. We leave a mark wherever we set foot. The artist wasn't strip mining at the place. In a couple thousand years, long after the curmudgeons in the Utah Department of Heritage and Arts have turned to dust, the wind and weather will have returned the rocks to their pristine condition. That's not even an eye blink in the history of the rocks. To cap off the mystery, it appears the people have been leaving their own monuments to the monolith. Saw footage of just how far off the beaten path this monolith was. My guess, it was not meant to be discovered. A piece of art just created for the sake of art, which is just beautiful. Anyway, all right, enough about that stupid thing. Let's get into a little more deeper thought and talk about the election. Good morning, BG. How you doing? Nice to see you. Welcome back to the PDawgKnight channel. By the way, please share the stream. You know how that works. Hit the share button down there. You can do it up here on Twitter, Minds, Gab, or Parler. Or you can follow me on Twitter, Minds, Gab, and Parler, and retweet, repost, republish, or what do they call it on Echo? They call it Echo on Parler. You know, I think, I was listening to a Felicia Killings, who's she's this woman who started this thing called the Conscious Conservative Movement, and it's a group of black conservatives trying to bring more conservative. Let's make her. I don't want to. How do I describe her? I don't want to call her Candace Owens, because they're completely different people. She's an intellectual and a strategist, and she's also happens to be a writer and author and all that, but she's trying to tap into the conservatism that's already in the black community and try to help them understand how, or try to build a movement of people who learn to use political power, not just on one side of the aisle. Anyway, she made a good point about Parler, where as conservatives, which I am. I consider myself conservative, but I now let me give you a caveat. I am black. I am a conservative, but don't call me a black conservative. I'm going to make a video about that very soon, because I don't consider myself representing a particular community, even though I am part of that community via natural selection, so to speak. But I don't want to be pigeonholed as a Candace Owens or a or a Felicia Cummings or a Sonny Johnson or a Thomas Sowell or a Larry Elder or any of these who people would say, oh, they're a black conservative. I'm just a conservative who is also black. Now, there are certain issues that I'm going to have certain mindsets about. I don't represent the black community though. Because no one person can represent the black community. We are not a model. Even among conservatives in the black community, there are many different factions. There's the commercial, I will call them the commercial conservatives, or the conservative Inc., the Candace Owens, the Terrence Williams, the Brandon Tatums, ADL, who I like all of them. I follow all of them. I find them interesting. But they're kind of the talking point conservatives. There are the intellectual conservatives like Felicia Cummings or Maj Touré or Sonny Johnson, who are very highly philosophical and I would say, in a sense, social conservatives. I just saw a new name. Hang on a second. Good morning, Avocados Diabli. Oh, well, it's not Avocados Diabli. Who's the... Okay, now I'm confused. Also, good morning, Rittenhouse Unit. How you doing? Now, wait a minute. Where is this? Hold on a second. What happened here? Okay, so different. It was a different. Was it a BLM and ATF that tried to? Yes, it was. That is the correct BLM, Bureau of Land Management. And then there are the conservative adjacent black conservatives, like the Hoteps, for example. There's a wide range of just like in any conservative circles, there's a wide range of conservatives. There's some that are kind of so I don't represent. I just am part of a larger group. Yes. Oh, yes, Pete. I saw that Candace sued PolitiFact and made them retract a fact they checked. Yeah, that was. You know what? That is beautiful. In fact, I think I might have an article on that. But she. So what happened is she had a Facebook video that was up, and PolitiFact. Twins are fun. Are you talking about the Hodge twins? Anyway, she had a Facebook post where she was talking about how Joe Biden is not the president-elect. And PolitiFact went on. PolitiFact went and said that she was wrong, and then she it was like her third strike at Facebook, and Facebook was demonetizing her channel. I didn't realize you could have a monetized Facebook channel, but anyway, and she sued PolitiFact because she is absolutely 100% correct. Joe Biden's not the president-elect yet, even though the media calls him the president-elect, and we tend to say the winner of the election, and the media will say, oh, they're the president-elect, but technically, until the Electoral College votes, he's technically not the president-elect. And so she sued PolitiFact and made them retract their fact check, and they actually changed it, and I believe they restored her Facebook status, which I don't know the whole thing on that, but hey, good for her, man. Now I don't always agree with Candace. I think my biggest issue with Candace is I feel like Candace, I don't think she's insincere necessarily, but I think Candace is in it for Candace. Candace gatekeeps instead of I wish she was more open to sharing. And I know she has this whole Blexit movement, which she stole the name Blexit, by the way, which that's not good in my mind. But anyway, but I think there'd be I think she could be much more effective if she didn't try to gatekeep so much. She has the speech patterns of a liar. Yeah, she does a little bit, doesn't she? And also, I think if she could learn this, if her goal was to learn as much as it was to have a talking point ready for every situation, where she could be off the cuff, I think she'd be much more effective too. But I can't deny that she's a force to be reckoned with. I can't deny that she's, a powerful force where she is. I think her ability to attract people in the community that she supposedly is trying to attract, I think it's limited. And part of that is because some of her rhetoric is insulting to the people who she's trying to attract, and that doesn't help. I've listened to a lot of people, and even people who are black and conservative, who said yes, some of her rhetoric is very off-putting to them, and so she's got to learn. She's got to learn to. I think her. Here's the thing. I follow a wide variety of people, including a wide variety of black conservatives, and I've actually learned a lot just listening to people, listening to various people. There's a whole bunch of young black conservatives who I think are going to make a huge impact, and also are going to be I think they're going to be surprisingly effective in some of the things they're doing. I'll get into that another day. But anyway, but as far as I'm concerned, I know I make this joke quite often, but I have several factors that have put a limit on my black card. Okay, I have several factors and so I have to be very, very judicious when I pull my black card, because they keep lowering my credit limit. So I'm not here to represent black people. I'm not here to represent conservatives. I'm representing PDawgKnight, and hopefully I continue to be interesting. Hopefully I continue to make sense. ABL is, let's see, someone's asked me, says, I like ABL, what say you? That's Anthony Brian Logan. I've been following Anthony Brian Logan for about 3 years now. He's an interesting fellow. He's in the Candace camp of conservatives. He's not that I'm not disparaging Anthony Brian Logan. I just don't think he's the brightest fellow. But he has convictions. He has certain. He's kind of a talking point conservative, and I would love to talk to ABL sometime. I'd love to talk to a lot of different people, but that's that. Anyway, and hopefully I'm going to have some of these people that I talk about on the show eventually. I'm so small right now as far as reach and numbers and all that people see me ask for an interview or just even to go on a stream together, and they're like, well, how's this help me? Well, it doesn't help you. It helped me more, but I'm still going to keep trying. In fact, one guy I really want to have on is the guy who ran against Ilhan Omar. Now I'm blanking on his name, because of course I'll blank on his name when I mention him. But that's the one I want to talk to. I want to talk about what it was like running against Ilhan Omar. But anyway, let's move on. First of all, real quick, a couple thank yous. Thank you, Tyler F. and Renee Mayette, Cindy Rochelle, Becca Fairley for sharing the show. Like I said, you can do that on Twitter, mine's Gavin Parler, or you can hit the share arrow down below and share this out. Let's get into some of the articles today. Now, apparently, the smartest man in the room, this is an article from the American Thinker, has joined Sidney Powell in her what do we call it? I'll call it her use of the Kraken. Anyway, In her Georgia complaint, Sidney Powell, this is from the American Thinker, by the way. In her Georgia complaint, Sidney Powell included the declaration of Navid Kashavar's Nia, an expert witness who stated under oath that there was a massive computer fraud in the 2020 election, and all of it intended to secure a victory for Joe Biden. Dr. Kashavar's Nia's name may not mean a lot to you, but it's one of the weightiest names in the world when it comes to sniffing out cybersecurity problems. We know how important Dr. Kashavar's, I'm just going to say Dr. K, because if I have to pronounce his name 20 times, I'm gonna start choking on myself. Good morning, by the way. PDawg really wants me on, but will never. Okay, I see you. Anyway, we know how important Dr. K is because just 2.5 months ago, the New York Times ran one of its Sunday long-form articles about a massive multi-million-dollar fraud that a talented grifter ran against the American intelligence and military communities. Dr. K is one of the few people who comes off looking good. Navid K, those who worked with him said, was always the smartest person in the room in doing cybersecurity and technical counterintelligence work for the CIA, NSA, and FBI. He had spent decades connecting top secret dots. After several months of working with Mr. Courtney, he began connecting those dots too. He did not like where they led. Now, not only does Dr. K have an innate intelligent, but he's also got extraordinary academic and practical skills in cyber fraud detection and analysis. The reason we know about his qualifications is that it takes 7 paragraphs for him to list them all in a declaration he signed to support the Georgia complaint. His qualifications include a BA, an MA, a PhD in various areas of electrical and computer engineering. In addition, quote, I have advanced training from the Defense Intelligence Agency, which is the DIA, the Central Intelligence Agency, the CIA, the National Security Agency, the NSA, the DHS Office of Intelligence and Analysis, I&A, and Massachusetts Institution of Technology, MIT. Professionally, Dr. K has spent his career as a cybersecurity engineer. My experience, he attests, spans 35 years performing technical assessment, mathematical modeling, hello, check your logic, how you doing? And also fight for your rights, good morning. Holy shit, let me try to say this whole thing again. My experience, he attests, spans 35 years performing technological assessment, mathematical modeling, cyber attack pattern analysis, and security intelligence. I will not belabor the point. Take it as given that Dr. K may know more about cybersecurity than anyone else in America. So, what does the brilliant Dr. K have to say? This. 1. Hammer and scorecard is real, not a hoax, as Democrats allege, and both are used to manipulate election outcomes. Number 2. Dominion, ES&S, Skydle, and Smartmatic are all vulnerable to fraud and vote manipulation, and the mainstream media reported on these vulnerabilities in the past. They sure did. I'm sorry, I should have belled the first one. Dominion has been used in other countries to forge election results. Dominion's corporate structure is deliberately confusing to hide relationships with Venezuela, China, and Cuba. Number 5, Dominion machines are easily hackable. And number 6, Dominion memory cards with cryptographic key access to the systems were stolen in 2019. Now, although he had no access to the machines, Dr. K has looked at available data about the election and the vote results. Based on that information, he concluded the following. 1. The counts in the disputed states, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, Arizona, Nevada, Georgia, show electronic manipulation. 2. The simultaneous decision in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Arizona, Nevada, and Georgia to pretend to halt counting votes was unprecedented and demonstrated a coordinated effort to collude toward the desired results. Number 3, 1 or 2% of votes were forged in Biden's favor. 4, Optical scanners were set up to accept unverified, unvalidated ballots. 5. The scanners failed to keep records for audits, an outcome that must have been deliberately programmed. 6. The stolen cryptographic key, which applied to all voting systems, was used to alter vote counts. 7. The favorable votes pouring in after hours for Biden could not be accounted for by a Democratic preference for mailed ballots. They demonstrated manipulation. For example, in Pennsylvania, it was physically impossible to feed 400,000 ballots into the machines within 2 to 3 hours. Number 8, Dominion used Chinese parts, and there's reason to believe that China, Venezuela, Cuba interfered in the election. Number 9, there was a hammer and scorecard cyber attack that altered votes in the battleground states and then forwarded the results to Skydo servers in Frankfurt, Germany to avoid detection. Remember that raid in Germany? I'm just saying. And finally, number 10, the systems failed to produce any auditable results. Based on the above findings, Dr. K concluded with high confidence that the election in 2020 data were altered in all battleground states, resulting in hundreds of thousands of votes that were cast for President Trump to be transferred to Vice President Biden. This is going to be tough evidence for Democrats to counter. Back when the naive Democrats thought Trump would be one to commit fraud, they held congressional hearings and wrote articles about the voting machine's vulnerability. Yes, the media has helped out a little bit here. And with the New York Times touting Dr. K's brilliance and his ability to sniff out fraud, they'll struggle to say that he's not a reliable expert. In other words, things are getting fun. I'm going to put this article in the chat because I'm sure many of you would like to reference it for later. There you go. Poof. We'll see. It chips away at my black pill to read things like this, but I'm still going to say, in the immortal words of Jerry Maguire. Actually, I don't remember the name of the player in the show, but Jerry Maguire. Show me the money! Show me the money, motherfucker. Anyway, by the way, now this is a claim that I had not heard yet, but it's popped up. It's popped up, people. Somebody made this claim that someone said something. What the hell is that? Okay, hang on. Let me fix this. Someone made the claim that someone said something, and I'm just saying that they might have said it or they might not. I guess we'll find out later, but there is the claim that someone said a Dominion executive bragged that he made sure Trump is not going to win on a conference call. This election was operation by Antifa in high office. If Americans question the validity of elections, the revolution can more easily take place. That's an interesting thought there, Rittenhouse unit. Well, I guess. Claim Dominion executive bragged that he made sure Trump is not going to win on a conference call. Kind of like, what's the dude? Pete Strzok said, "We're going to stop him." Eventually, someone leaves a trail. Joe Altman, founder of FEC, Faith Education Commerce United, spoke to OAN. Now, again, every time, okay, I take everything I see on OAN with a huge grain of salt, only because the people on OAN, who I don't dislike, but they are very obviously cheerleaders, and so I'm always going to take it with a grain of salt. But, and I like how PJ Media writes this. They put big capital letters, claim. But here's the claim. Joe Altman, founder of FEC United spoke to OAN about how he participated in a September 27th conference call with members of with members of Antifa, and allegedly made a bombshell discovery about a key member of the leadership of Dominion Voting Systems. Altman said he learned that Eric from Dominion, whom he later identified as Dominion employee Eric Coomer, would be on the call. According to Altmana, someone on the call asked, "What are you going to do if fucking Trump wins?" Altman paraphrased Coomer's alleged response, "Don't worry about the election. Trump's not going to win. I made fucking sure of that." Here is the clip from OAN. Again, big grain of salt. In fact, we're gonna. I think we'll watch this whole thing. Try to grab guns and people will die. That's not even an exaggeration. I don't like. Oh boy, we'll talk about the Biden minute. The possible, the hypothetical Biden administration more this week. But let's continue here. Actually, I'm just going to stay here. Snopes now. Of course, Snopes, the fact checker, rates these allegations as, quote, unproven, which is interesting because they like to just rate things as false to be rating things as false, but as unproven, which is interesting. Snopes currently rates these allegations as unproven, explaining that they don't know whether Altman's allegations against Coomer are accurate or not. Evidence presented by Altman so far, such as social media posts allegedly belonging to Coomer, do not prove or disprove the key allegations made by Altman that Coomer bragged about rigging the election. Snopes concedes that despite this, it doesn't necessarily mean that Altman's claim is false. It just means it is so far not supported by any publicly available evidence beyond its verbal account. However, Snopes does add yet another caveat, quote, "It is also not clear whether Coomer's alleged remarks, if they did take place, were made in earnest, and therefore whether they should be interpreted as proof of election meddling." So even if Coomer made the comment in earnest, he might have been lying either to impress others on the call, to exaggerate his power and influence, or for some other reason. Right, as of right now, there's no proof that this person on the call was Eric Coomer of Dominion or that he made the statement. Conference calls involving a large number of participants may have recordings, but so far no recording has surfaced. So, and apparently Altman is banned. Of course, Twitter doing their part. Good morning, Maniac Man. Twitter doing their part. Altman was apparently banned from Twitter as soon after he first went public with his allegations, verifying who said them. There isn't much to go on here. So he was immediately banned by Twitter because, you know, that's what Twitter does. Those lying, cheating bastards. Anyway. All right, let's move on here. So anyway, I take it with a grain of salt. I don't know who did what. I don't know what to think anymore. That black pill is affecting my brain. It hurts. Ouch, it hurts. Here's a good question though. Did President Trump spring a trap on treasonous rat bastards? I'm sorry, did I say Democrats out loud? Did President Trump spring a trap on treasonous Democrats on election night? I, Donald J. Trump, find the ability of persons located in whole or in substantial part outside the United States to interfere in or undermine public confidence in United States elections constitutes an unusual and extraordinary threat to the national security and foreign policy of the United States. I hereby declare a national emergency to deal with this threat. Anyone remember those words? I said those words a while ago, right? That was President Trump in his executive order on September 12, 2018, giving the pretext for the blocking of property and money transfers without prior notification belonging to persons who have dealt in foreign interference during the 2020 presidential election. Now, which is funny because remember that we've been talking about Russia for 3 years, and so any Democrat who heard that proclamation or that that executive order probably thought it had something to do with foreign powers interfering in the election, but he also, in that executive order, said foreign and domestic. So did Trump know all along that Democrats would cheat? When President Trump became president in 2017, he knew that the Democrats were hell-bent on removing him from office. The Democrats tried endlessly to find skeletons in Trump's closet as part of a Soviet-style harassment campaign wherein a person rather than a crime is investigated. Stalinist Laurenti Beria would have been proud. It was Beria who said, "Show me the man, I'll find you the crime." The fact that Trump has survived so much character assassination and political scrutiny only goes to show how scrupulously honest Trump has been in his business and other dealings throughout life. Trump has known for a long while that to finish his part in restoring America's free republic, he would have to deal with tremendous election fraud in his bid for re-election. In 2016, Trump enjoyed the element of surprise in that his overwhelming popularity was great enough to overcome the systemic fraud set in place to rig the election for Hillary Clinton. So certain were the complicit media of a win for Clinton that they predicted a 95% probability of her winning. But the same blunder, born of Democrat arrogance and overconfidence from years of triumphant cheating, would not occur a second time in 2020. The media would, during Trump's first term as president, embark on creating the illusion that the most popular president since Ronald Reagan was actually reviled. This big lie would be endlessly repeated in hopes of making enough people believe a loss to Biden was in the cards for Trump. In 2018, there was a serious election fraud in Florida and in Arizona. Trump's team observed the cheating and learned from it in preparation for the 2020 presidential election cycle. Prior to the 2018 election, on September 12th, Trump issued an executive order on imposing certain sanctions in the event of foreign interference in a United States election. Good morning, Lowrider, by the way. How you doing? And someone else showed up. I'll figure it out. The importance of this executive order largely escaped notice during the 2018 election cycle, but it would loom even larger as the 2020 election approached. The fact that no major arrests seem to have been made concerning the election fraud of 2018 indicates that many of the fraudsters may have received plea bargains in exchange for making the next round of electoral crimes so highly visible that the irregularities could not be missed. If arrests had been made back in 2018, Democrats would simply have brought in new operatives to do their criminal bidding in 2020, which, in the long run, would not have helped President Trump. While this line of reasoning is speculative, to be sure, the actual election fraud perpetrated in 2020 against the president is unmistakable. Let me take an aside here. It's still amazing to me that there are people who can't see that some of these anomalies are so anomalous that the people not seeing the anomalies are anomalies themselves. Did I say that right? The idea that the Republicans could gain 20 seats in the House, something like that. Or I know there's 13. Look, all 27 of the toss-up races for the House of Representatives were won by Republicans. All 27. I'm going to say that again. All 27 toss-up races for the House of Representatives have been won by Republicans. The blue, remember everyone's talking about the blue wave? Nah, there's a red wave. So far, the Senate has been held, although I'm concerned. I'm concerned because they got the mail-in ballots for those two Senate races down in Georgia. But we'll see. State legislatures. Republicans not only held, I think gained in state legislature seats across the country. The President of the United States, Donald John Trump, held rallies around the country during the election cycle, pulling tens of thousands of people everywhere he went. Whereas Joe Biden couldn't attract as many as people as Richard Spencer. By the way, who was a Biden supporter. I'll never stop thinking that's funny. You know what I'm saying? Hello, a horrible gamer. How you doing? I will never stop thinking that's funny. You know, as you look around at what happened during this election, the exit polling, that Donald Trump doubled, and now doubling his percentage of the black women vote is not a lot. Went from 4 to 8%, but that's he gained in black women vote. He gained in black men vote. He gained in Hispanic vote. He gained in the LGBTQ vote. He gained in, I believe, Asian vote. Demographics. He gained. And even suburban women. He gained suburban women. In every demographic except one, he made major inroads, made major gains. That if you think about those things, you would think there's no way he would lose the election. The only place he lost votes, the only place he lost votes, or excuse me, he performed worse, was white men.
You're fucking a white male!
So I say, if Joe Biden won the election, it was because of Richard Spencer. They should just put his picture on the wall in the White House if Joe Biden is sworn in on January 20th. I'm just saying. Anyway, does Trump possess proof of widespread cheating in the 2020 election? That's a great question. It's a great question. After the November 3rd presidential election of 2020, a news story broke reporting the seizure of important computer servers in Frankfurt, Germany. Though the event is disputed, what occurred, according to the Gateway pundit, who I will always take with a grain of salt because Jim is also very hyperbolic, but we'll see. What occurred was this. A unit under the command of USUCOM, i.e. the United States European Command, did in fact conduct an operation to take control of computer servers. But these servers belong to the CIA. Such an operation would have been carried out with U.S. law enforcement present to take custody of the evidence. The presence of federal agents of the court would guarantee a chain of legal custody for the servers that would render their data admissible before a judge. Gene Haspel and Christopher Wray were supposedly not informed of the raid in advance, leaving the CIA and FBI heads necessarily blind to this action and therefore unable to interfere. This means that the CIA was certainly the target and that a law enforcement agency unrelated to the FBI, such as the U.S. Marshals or the Secret Service, was likely used to take control of the evidence. The timely firing of Mark Esper prior to the raid would mean that the oppositional defense secretary was cut off from foreknowledge of the raid and therefore would have been unable to disrupt what was going to transpire. The deep state's not a friend of Donald Trump. Thank goodness. As Bill and Ted may have characterized, Biden's voter fraud was predictable. As Bill and Ted may have characterized Biden's unrealistic vote totals on election night, strange things are afoot at the Circle K. But these are strange things Biden himself brought up while speaking to former Obama staffers on Pod Save America on October 24, 2020, saying, quote, "We're in a situation where we have put together, and you guys did it for our President Obama's administration before this, we have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics. Was that a slip-up? Perhaps it would have been wise of the former vice president to have remained mum in his basement that day, especially in light of his follow-up comment while speaking to Michigan voters on November 1st, 2020. Quote, "I don't need you to get me elected. I need you once I'm elected." Taken together, Biden's comments paint the picture of a candidate with no need of voters to get elected, instead of relying on election fraud to win. The same plan, it would seem, that worked for Barack Obama. Did Trump set a trap for election thieves? The Millennium Report of November 6, 2020 opens, quote, "Just as Democrats had 4 years to come up with a plan to steal the presidency of 2020, so did Team Trump to foil that convoluted scheme. Where to set the biggest traps was easy as pie. Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Georgia. The idea that Trump set up the Democrats with his executive order and sprang a trap on them on election night is definitely within the realm of possibility given what is known about this creative president. It is likely that Trump has known about Dominion voting systems for some time, but has chosen not to interfere with enemies who were in the process of setting themselves up for their own destruction. Little did the Democrats suspect that their villainous strength, the ability to win elections by cheating, was about to become an eminently indictable weakness." Psalms 141:10 reads, quote, "Let the wicked fall into their own nets while I pass by in safety," end quote. It would appear likely that this is precisely what President Trump's motto has been during the presidential election of 2020. Well, again, I'm in the put up or shut up category, but it makes my black pill. I'm gonna just leave it over there before I decide to take it the entire dose, if you know what I mean. Let's see. I'm gonna take a small break here because I need to get myself organized. Enjoy. Oh, hang on a second. What'd I do there? Gosh darn it! I'm messing things up. Enjoy the commercial. Hey everybody, it's me, Marty. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I hope you're enjoying the show. The Morning Night Live is sponsored by you, the viewers of the Morning Night Live. Please, if you have a moment, take time to share this stream by hitting that little arrow down below or up here if you're on a mobile. And please hit the like button. I know you like it, you're still here and you're still watching. And finally, if you want to support the show, you can do that through your donations and super chats, which are in the description down below. You can do that at Streamlabs link or at PDawgKnight.live. That every little bit helps. And thank you for watching. Now back to the show. All right, and we're back. So, American Thinker seems to be my favorite jam today. I got another one for the American Thinker. So, if you need a primer on things that just don't pass the smell test as far as the election goes, because I know there's a lot of my friends who are on the other side have just don't understand how anyone could think that there are things that are wrong with this election, because I think a lot of people who supported anybody but Trump are so happy that the results are in their favor at this point that they can't see it. Now, again, I don't know if any of this shit's gonna work that they're doing, but there is definitely things that make you go, in the words of Arsenio Hall, things that make you go, Well, here's a compilation of 20 of those things. This is an article, again, from the American Thinker. A compilation of 20 alleged election facts that do not pass the smell test. Good morning, Thomas Cleaver. How you doing? I'm of the salty crackered mindset. Doomers, get out of the way for those of us with faith still left. Okay, I'm telling you, I like Salty a lot. You have to keep his energy for the real fight. Notice how he was left up. Says a lot. Yeah, you know what? I am. If it turns into a fight, I'm willing to get my musket. I'm just telling you. Anyway, a compilation of 20 alleged facts that don't pass the smell test. Americans have common sense so they can understand when they're being played. For example, when politicians place Americans under house arrest and then ignore their own rules to party and travel, and they know that there is no way on God's green earth that decrepit, demented, corrupt, and terminally stupid Joe Biden fairly won this election. This post assembles various election anomalies that don't pass the smell test. J.B. Shirk, who frequently publishes at American Thinker, wrote a knockout article on the Federalist about Joe Biden's magical performance in the election. You should read the whole article, but here are 4 things that don't pass the smell test. Well, there's 20, but I don't know. Oh, well, anyway. So, number 1. And this one's amazing to me because remember, Barack Obama. No, that's all. Barack Obama. Number 1, Biden allegedly got 80 million votes, which is more than Obama received at his peak in 2008. And Biden did this despite losing minority voters to Donald Trump and trailing Trump in voter enthusiasm. That's all. That's number 1 because that is what nobody can understand. Nobody can understand. Nobody wanted to see Joe Biden. Nobody wanted to hear Joe Biden. Joe Biden didn't come out of his basement. Barely came out of his basement. And when he did, he got massive crowds of 25 to 30 people at any given time. Kamala Harris did not draw crowds either. She'd be having one of those stupid parking lot rallies, and there might be 50 cars in the parking lot. How the bloody hell did this happen? Number 2. Biden broke 60 years of precedent by winning nationally despite losing prodigiously in bellwether states and counties. Last time this happened was when the mafia got out the vote for John F. Kennedy in 1960. Yeah, most of the bellwether states, he got his ass kicked, but in just those states they needed to, those states that Trump turned, they just miraculously got the number of votes they needed after a pause in the counting. Number 3, Trump had extraordinary coattails, so much so that even the New York Times admitted that the Democrats suffered crushing down-ballot losses across America. Think about that. Biden had no coattails, no enthusiasm, yet he allegedly won a record number of votes. That don't smell right. Number 4, Biden barely made it through the primaries while Trump soared, with Trump's performance being a historically sure sign of voter enthusiasm and probable victory. Yet Biden again allegedly scored an equally historic strong victory. What? At the Spectator, Patrick Cashapp, a professional pollster, also felt that Biden's alleged win cannot pass the smell test. Again, this is a summary, so you should read the entire article, which is I'll put both these articles in the chat. Maybe I'll throw them down in the description too for later. So this is number 5. Trump exceeded his original vote by the largest margin for any incumbent in American history. He got 10 million more votes than before. By contrast, Obama in 2012 got 3.5 million fewer votes than in 2008. Put that in your craw. Number 6, Trump's support among blacks grew by 50%, while Biden's fell below the all-important 90% mark that Democrat candidates need to secure a victory. How the hell did that happen? Richard Spencer. In the Rust Belt, Biden lost black support everywhere but Detroit, Philadelphia, and Milwaukee. In those citizens, every single black person apparently voted for Joe Biden. Number 8, while pollsters can and do manipulated polling outcomes, non-polling metrics, historical norms such as the economy, enthusiasm, etc., have never been wrong. Only we're being told that this year was the exception. There's also indicia, I guess that's indications, of fraud that Dr. K detailed. Number 9, The fact that Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Arizona, Nevada, and Georgia simultaneously pretended to halt ballot counting while continuing to count is evidence of election fraud collusion. Number 10, optical scanners were set to accept unverified, unvalidated ballots. That alone should have had those thrown out. Number 12, in contested states, the voting machines were alleged to have processed hundreds of thousands of ballots within a very short time, which is physically impossible. Now, here's a few more indications of fraud. Number 13, in Pennsylvania, statistically impossible numbers of late arriving mail-in votes went to Biden. Number 14, Dominion and ESS voting machines were created to have backdoors and specific functions to manipulate votes either at the machine or over the internet. Number 15, Fox News' behavior on election night, refusing to call pro-Trump outcomes while prematurely calling Arizona for Biden, was so abnormal that Vegas odd makers instantly assumed the fix was in. Yeah, the more I think about that, the weirder it gets. Number 16, the allegedly late arriving ballots increased Biden's equally alleged lead with statistically impossible perfection and stability. Number 17, there were anomalies in Virginia that suggested that computers were subtracting votes from Trump and sometimes giving them to Biden. 18, one analysis shows that voting machines in Michigan systematically removed votes from Trump and handed them to Biden. I saw a rebuttal, which I cannot locate now, that purported to debunk this, but did so by using a different scale on the x-axis, which I found inherently suspicious. Number 19, over 100,000 Pennsylvania absentee ballots were returned either a day after they were mailed out, or on the day they were mailed out, or on the day before they were mailed out, which is most likely impossible. And number 20, in all the contested areas and at Dominion's website, Democrats have been systematically failing to create or have destroyed all data that could be used to demonstrate fraud. I wonder if they were taking notes from Hillary Clinton. Anyway, this creates the legal presumption that the data do in fact show fraud. On behalf of all Trump voters, I say to Democrats who are trying to gaslight us, don't spit in my face and tell me it's raining, and I'll add the fuck off. So Ryan, how you doing? Nice to see you rocking out this morning. Yes, it is Metal Monday on the Morning Night Live. Remember, on Monday and Fridays, music. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, no music. We'll experiment with that formula for a while and see how it goes. So again, I here, by the way, these articles that they mention, here's one from the Federalist. I'll put in the chat. There we go. And here's the one from the Spectator. Here's why the 2020 presidential election is deeply puzzling. Actually, I'll put the Thinker article in there too. There's all three. And right click, open, save, or whatever you want to do, however you do that when I do this. But they're here for now. If I remember, I'll try to put these in the description down below too. I know for people who watch after the fact, I should probably do that anyway. So I'm going to try to get in that habit. I'll have to leave these tabs open so that I can do that later. Let's see. So just some little headline things that I can go through. The Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman, the Trump campaign will get its clock clean if it appeals ruling to the U.S. Supreme Court. Let's talk about this Klingon-looking motherfucker. This is. Wait a minute. Let me move this here. Did I just say that out loud? Did I just call him a Klingon-looking motherfucker out loud? Anyway, Pennsylvania Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman, Trump's campaign will get its clock cleaned if it appeals ruling to the U.S. Supreme Court. Interesting. Hang on, look at motherfucker. Anyway, Pennsylvania Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman claimed Saturday that no matter what President Donald Trump campaign does legally, it will not change the election's outcome. When asked during an interview on CNN if he felt worried about the Trump campaign saying it will appeal a lawsuit dismissed by the Pennsylvania Supreme Court to the U.S. Supreme Court, Fetterman said, "I hope they do, motherfucker." He didn't say the motherfucker part. Anyway, he said, "I hope they do, and they're going to get their clock clean there the way they did, here in Pennsylvania." I mean, all this snake handling at the Ramada that they had the other day here in Pennsylvania didn't change this outcome. And no matter what they do, it's not going to change the outcomes because there was 2 documented cases of voter fraud here in Pennsylvania. And they both involve voters trying to vote for the president. So no matter what they try and what they do, we all know how this movie's going to end. Well, I guess they clipped that quote for later. Former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani appeared at a hearing with Pennsylvania Republicans on Wednesday to review his claims of voter fraud and election irregularities in the state. "All we ask is that you listen to the facts that we are presenting and then evaluate it," Giuliani said during a recent phone interview at Fox News Channel Sunday Morning Futures. Trump said he will not change his mind that there was massive voter fraud in the election. The president said he will use 125% of my energy to prove those claims. Adding, you need a judge that's willing to hear a case. You need a Supreme Court that's willing to make a really big decision based on everything. When asked what he thought of Republicans who wanted the vote certification withdrawn in Pennsylvania, Fetterman said, "The resolution, the one that has like 5 or 6 or 7 senators and 25 House members, that's not going anywhere either. They should stick to the snake handling at the Ramada because this isn't going to work and none of this is going to work. Former Vice President Joe Biden is going to win Pennsylvania," he concluded. Well, whenever someone gets that cocky, you just always got to wonder. Anyway, other things going on. Let's see. Pennsylvania, 90. We saw the testimony. Oh, was this on Friday? Maybe this was Friday. I don't know. What's the LG? K-pop news. BTS, BE is #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 album chart. Hi, Patrice. My resident K-pop aficionado, Patrice Ripley, is in the house. How you doing, my friend? I'm gonna give you a bell because I'm so happy that you're here. You get a bell. Check out Real Clear Politics electoral map. All the states Biden won that have court cases are back in the toss-up category. Oh my gosh, you got a link for that, Zach? If you have a link, put it in the chat. I'll put that on the screen. That's interesting. Let's get into something. Let's do something else here because I wanted to get into how the media is dealing with this. The media is not doing well. Let's just put it that way. About a lot of things. In fact, about COVID, right? COVID. So apparently, oh, what is that? Oh, where did that come from? That was weird. Oh, because you can choose your own little thing. Thank you, Ryan himself. The first donation of the day at 10:16. Thank you so much for the 556. And you, Ryan.
You are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day.
Ryan himself, thank you and welcome. Check out the One Tab extension. It'll take all the tabs you have open and make one clean list on links on one tab. You can even share that link with the chat. They don't pay me. I use it on my show. The One Chat. Okay, let me see. Check out the One Tab extension. Oh, it's an extension. Okay. Thank you. That's a great idea. Then you can even share that link with the chat. Okay. I'm going to start using that. Thank you very much, Ryan himself. I appreciate that. Okay. Let's see. Oh, okay. So this is fascinating because the media, you know how the media likes to manipulate shit. Well, this is on COVID. There's an interesting development that we hadn't noticed until recently. Why isn't that big media hiding? Why are they hiding that Illinois has far more COVID cases than Florida? Because Illinois has a Democrat in charge and tighter lockdowns. COVID-19 cases in the United States are growing, with the media selectively covering states with the highest numbers. On Tuesday, the United States reported that there were at least 2,216 new COVID deaths and approximately 178,200 new cases. Some states, despite strict coronavirus mandates and guidelines meant to prevent the spread, are suffering from the most cases and deaths. Instead, however, big news seems to be focused on continuing to shame GOP politicians for refusing to completely shut down their states again. Nearly every week in June and July, mainstream media news outlets singled out and slammed Florida Republican Governor Ron DeSantis for rising COVID numbers as the state remained largely open and unmasked. Headlines such as, quote, "Florida shatters U.S. record for single-day COVID cases." Wait a minute.
That's right.
Whoops. Florida governor just can't seem to get it right on coronavirus. Florida shatters record for new coronavirus cases, orders bars to close. Florida shatters records with over 10,000 new COVID cases in a single day. Disney World reopens as coronavirus cases soar in Florida and across the U.S. In Florida, COVID-19 death toll keeps rising. Florida invited the nation to its reopening. Then it became a new coronavirus epicenter. Those kinds of headlines ran rampant across news websites and broadcast programs. Months after the outlets such as CNN, NPR, The Washington Post, and others, God, aren't they the same? Continually targeted Florida for increasing coronavirus cases, the corporate media ignored they conveniently, I'll add in my own descriptor, they conveniently ignored Illinois, which recorded 15,415 cases in just one day. That's more than Florida ever reported in a single day, yet Florida is singled out for negative news attention. This is despite Illinois' population being 40% lower. Yu Yang Gu, creator of a COVID projection website, reported. Last week, Illinois reported 15,450 cases in a single day, more than Florida ever did in a single day, despite Illinois having a population being 40% lower. Many of you probably did not know the dire situation in Illinois. That's because no mainstream media chose to report it. Ha! Ha! Huh. While Illinois continues to see climbing cases and deaths, outlets such as MSNBC, NPR, and CNN are choosing to hyper-focus on states with Republican leaders, such as Governor Kristi Noem of South Dakota, who have chosen different COVID-19 mitigation techniques. Instead of noting these significant trends in Illinois, CNN chose to publish another article on Florida focusing on the fact that case numbers continue to rise after reopening, though daily new deaths in the state are down. While Illinois enacted mask mandates, closed restaurants, and discouraged people from holiday travel and gatherings, Gu notes that the state is still experiencing an exceptional amount of cases and deaths per capita compared to states with much higher populations, such as Florida, California, and Texas. According to Gu, no other state has averaged 12,000 cases a day for a whole week, not even Florida, 1.7 times the population, California 3 times the population, and Texas 2.3 times the populations. For deaths per capita, Illinois also exceeded the peak deaths in Florida twice, once in May and once again now. So why is this not news? Ha! Ha! Silly question. Everyone knows why it's not news. On the surface, Illinois has done many things right, so to speak. Mask mandate since May 1st, $5 million ad campaign to encourage mask wearing, closing indoor dining bars at the end of October, stay-at-home advisory in Chicago, and additional statewide restrictions enacted last week. Maybe it was because of the protest. Maybe that's why it's because, protests don't spread COVID unless you don't report it, of course. We hear a lot of talk about how the deaths in Florida were, quote, preventable. Well, what about the ones in Illinois? I don't want to spark a political debate here. I just hope more people can recognize that the news we consume online can inherently be biased. They often serve to fuel division and cliques. The sooner we recognize that, the sooner we come together. Yeah, why? Oh, why? What's the difference between Illinois and Florida that they would hide the fact that mask mandates and lockdown orders and restaurants closing, and they still have more cases than Florida? Oh, that's right. Illinois has a Democrat for a governor. Apparently, the National Association of Realtors is getting into the cancel culture business. I don't know why I thought this was funny. It's not funny. It's really kind of sad, actually. Hang on, let me fix the screen here so it fits on the screen. There we go. The National Association. This is just, I'm getting random here now, but they can't all be Tony Todd P-Dawg. This Klingon. You must be behind. You must be watching a delay. So the National Association of Realtors imposes cancel culture on 1.4 million people. The National Association of Realtors claims to have 1.4 million members. There will be fewer members before long as the association begins purging conservative real estate agents. At the center of the storm was an addition to Article 10, which covers various forms of discrimination. But unlike all the previous sections, hang on a second here. Unlike all the previous sections, which addressed how real estate professionals interacted with customers, Article 10-5 is a catch-all cancel culture that controls what real estate agents say on social media, on their own private accounts, and in their free time. This goes far beyond being made to bake the cake. Even if you're at home, you post something opposed to gay marriage or illegal migration, you can lose your business. As the National Association of Realtors claim, a realtor's speech and conduct reflect on the realtor organization, whether said publicly on a business social media profile or privately on a personal one. When you're a real estate agent, you no longer have the right to personal opinions. Article 10-5 immediately transformed 1.4 million people into subordinates at the mercy of NAR brass, who have the authority to determine what political or religious views they can hold. It means that we can never take our hands off, no matter where we are, no matter what we do. We are always licensed, and we are always a member of the National Association of Realtors. New York State Association of Realtor President Jennifer Stevenson warned. That's a warning. That's a shot across the bow, so to speak. Never taking your hands off is endemic to socialist tyrannies and has no place in America. Jennifer is a Democrat donor. NAR's PAC directs a majority of its cash to Democrats. That included $3,000 to subsidize the bigotry of Ilhan Omar, representative, and $5,000 to Representative Rashida Tlaib. Did I say that out loud? But that's the kind of hatred that the National Association of Realtors is comfortable subsidizing. No matter where we are means never being able to say anything that offends someone like Jennifer without fear of being sanctioned, fired, or losing your business. Jennifer, an NAR board member, and others will be looking over your shoulder every time you post anything on Facebook. Any leftist offended by anything an NAR member posts has an easy recourse. So, anyway, so they basically put it in their rules that if you say something on your own personal social media, they can tell you to get the fuck out. Hypnagogic Monk! Welcome back. Were you on, Oh, you did a chat on Matt Christensen's show last night. I caught you there, and I was gonna shout at you in the chat, but I was at work, so I couldn't do any of the chat. Yeah, toe the line, bigots. Toe the line, bigots. Toe the fucking line. Anyway, what else do I got here? Let me hop through here. Let me check out my bookmarks. I only got a couple minutes left. I had a couple bookmarks that I wanted to get to. Oh gosh, the big headline yesterday. Oh my goodness, this Joe Biden is so amazing. Joe Biden is so amazing that Joe Biden chooses all female senior White House press team. Oh my gosh, praise to Joe Biden. The hagiagic or whatever it's called is in full force. Now it's interesting though. This article got people pissed off on Twitter. Wait a minute, let me read the tweet first, because people were salty as F about this. Here's the tweet. Listen carefully to what I'm about to say, by the way. I've been summoned back to the office. Can't comment on stream from work. Hey, I hear you. I listen to streams all the time when at work, so I get you. I got you. Hello, Dr. No, by the way. Listen to this tweet. Projected President-elect Joe Biden will have an all-female senior communications team at the White House led by campaign communications director Kate Bedingfield. Kate Bedingfield is one of Joe Biden's longtime assistant. Now, I laugh because I couldn't give a rat's ass that his communications team is all female. Apparently that's groundbreaking or something. I'm just tired of the first anything anymore, because guess what? If you're the first of a demographic to do something, you're not the first person to do it, okay? In fact, who was it that said that? I think Hotep Jesus said that once, and that stuck in my head. Anytime they say, "Oh, you're the first black person to do this or whatever," well, that means you're not the first person to do it, okay? And so whatever. And I say that as the son of the first black man to graduate from my father's university. He was the first one to go to Wayne State Teachers College in Wayne, Nebraska. First black man ever to go to school there, and first black man to graduate from there. But back when he was there, that was something special, because this is 1950s. That's a big damn deal. But now I see it now and I go, whatever. I saw this. Oh, we'll have all female senior communications team at the White House. I'm like, okay, and is there supposed to be something special about that? I mean, think about it. Who has President Donald Trump's press secretary been? They've both been women, right? I'm just like, okay, whatever. It happens. And then it's good for them. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. But the best part of this tweet, was, what were the words they used? Again, they used hang on a second. Look at the tweet again. Projected President-elect Joe Biden. That has people salty in the comments. Now, this person here says there is no president-elect or an office bearing that name. The election has not been completed, finalized, and Donald Trump is still the U.S. president, right? The Wall Street Journal called Trump president-elect in this article on November 9, 2016. Okay, but he wasn't, and no one was disputing it then, except for Hillary Clinton, of course. Projected, he is the president-elect. Well, I think Candace Owens just won a lawsuit about that very subject. It won't be official until the Electoral College votes and the results are accepted by Congress. Having said that, the MAGA crowd is delusional if they think the college won't carry the will of the voters. Yeah, whatever. But yeah, people were pissed that they used the term projected president-elect. I'm already over time, but I really want to do one more bookmark here, because which one was it? There was one that I really thought I found humor in. Oh, by the way, well, if you're into Minnesota politics, I would do that. I'll do Kyle Becker's stream tomorrow. Kyle Becker has a stream on the election integrity that was really good, but that's not the one I wanted to do. Oh, we're going to finish with this lovely gem. So, y'all familiar with the Me Too movement and the Time's Up movement and all the things that people are doing to try to stop the sexual harassment of women, which it's laudable. I think it's important that we stop the sexual harassment of women, etc. However, there's an organization, a star-studded organization that a lot of people call it a grift, right? They raise a lot of money and then weird things happen with the money. Well, apparently star-studded Time's Up charities spent bigly on salaries, but little on helping victims. Of course. Hollywood's Time's Up organization, set up to fight sexual harassment with Reese Witherspoon and Amy Schumer, Brie Larson, and other luminaries on its board, spent the bulk of its donations on executive salaries. And only a fraction on legal costs to help victims, public records show. The organization, which comprised of the Time's Up Foundation and Time's Up Now, Inc., raised $3,670,219 in 2018 and its founding year, but spent $1,407.32 on salaries and only $300,001 on Time's Up Legal Defense Fund for people who have experienced sexual harassment. Charity watchdog groups such as Charity Navigator recommended that nonprofits spend 75% of their revenues on their mission and 25% on administration. Time's Up spent 38% on salaries alone. Time's Up Now, the lobbying arm of the organization, also spent $157,155 on conferences designed to build community and spark critical conversations about gender equity. Tax filing show. In June 2018, the groups co-sponsored a retreat in the Ojai Valley in a luxury resort and spa north of Los Angeles. The retreat was dominated by agents from the Creative Artists Agency, who apparently had difficulty deciding on what the core mission should be. They pivoted from "Let's clean up Hollywood" to "We're going to help all workers," said an attendee who did not want to be identified. According to tax filings, the mission of Time's Up Now is to, quote, "promote safe, fair, and dignified work for women of all kinds. We work to make sure that women are free from harassment and other forms of discrimination on the job and have equal opportunity for economic security and can achieve the highest positions of power wherever they work." A very noble goal. To this end, the group helped set up the Time's Up Legal Defense Fund in January 2018, which supports individuals who've experienced sexual harassment or retaliation at work to come forward to seek justice. According to the group's website, the fund helps pay legal fees for select cases and is overseen by the Washington, D.C.-based National Women's Law Center, of course. The Defense Fund is completely independent of the Time's Up Foundation and Time's Up Now, the website says. In addition to posh conferences, Time's Up Now spent $288,007 on advertising and $940,328 on legal costs, with the majority of that figure, $719,522, going to Arnold and Porter K. Scholler, a multinational law firm with a powerful lobbying arm on Capitol Hill. So they spent just over $700,000 of the $900,000 on lobbyists. Time's Up Now also spent $58,395 on travel, $112,435 on Rally, a public relations company, according to tax filings. So there's almost $1 million on lobbyists and public relations. That deserves a... The Encino-based organization was founded by lawyers and Hollywood producers. Get off my screen. Lawyers and they all happened. And Hollywood producers, and drew on the star-studded backing of Gloria Steinem, Oprah Winfrey, Jessica Chastain, Rosanna Arquette, and Mira Sorvino in the wake of the 2017 Harvey Weinstein scandal. The movement was born after Weinstein's best friend, Oprah Winfrey, made a passionate speech at the Golden Globes in January 2018. I'm sorry, I added the descriptor of Harvey Weinstein's best friend, Oprah Winfrey, because they kind of were. For too long, women have not been heard or believed if they dared to speak the truth, the power of those men. But their time is up. Their time is up. Their time is up. Harvey Weinstein, my best friend, your time is up. The disgraced former film producer was accused of sexually harassing dozens of women dating back to the late 1970s. Weinstein was convicted of sexual assault and rape earlier this year and sentenced to 23 years in prison, although he's had COVID twice while in prison, which is, I think, nearly impossible statistically. But he is a specimen who needs to be studied. I think they should do an autopsy. I'm sorry, what do they do? What do they call that? A forensic dissection. And then, of course, Alyssa Milano, if you've been sexually harassed or assaulted, write me too as a reply to this tweet. Anyway, I just think it's hilarious. Again, like a lot of these celebrity charities, a lot of the money, you just don't know where it goes. It makes me wonder where all that $1 billion of Black Lives Matter money is gone. I want to see their audit. That's going to be delicious. Anyway, I got to call it a day, people. Thank you for joining me today here on the Morning Night Live. If you like what we do, throw that thumbs up in the thumbs up category. And if you and share the stream and all that stuff. Wow, there's not a whole lot of people here today. That's weird. It must be something I said. Anyway, hit the like button, share the stream. If you want to do donations, you can do that in the description down below. There's all kinds of ways to support the channel. And check out the merch tab at PDawgKnight.live. I'm going to be adding some new things in there. So anyway, I'm here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. And I don't know GMT anymore because of daylight savings time, so we'll just skip that. But anyway, thanks again. I gotta go. My name's Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye.
Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comments section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cashapp, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.